Hi everyone, and welcome to Docue Digest, where we break down a particular legal topic into bite-sized pieces. On the menu today is shareholders agreements. We'll talk about what they are, how they can protect you and your company, and the types of things that they include. I'm Heather Stark, Senior Legal Counsel at Docue UK, and joining me today is my colleague Ashley.
Hi, I'm Ashley, Legal Counsel at Docue UK. Okay, so let's start with the basics. What exactly is a shareholders agreement?
Well, in basic terms, a shareholders agreement is a legal document that outlines the rights and responsibilities of shareholders in a limited company. It deals with the governance, management, and decision-making of a company, as well as the rights of shareholders. Together with the company's articles of association, it's one of the most important governance documents for a limited company with multiple shareholders. How does the shareholders agreement differ from the company's articles?
So articles of association set out the company's internal rules and regulations. This includes the company's purpose, share structure, and the decision-making process of the board of directors and the shareholders. On the other hand, a shareholders agreement sets out the rights and obligations of the shareholders in relation to the company. There can be some overlap between the contents of a shareholders agreement and the articles of association. So it's common to include a precedence clause, which makes it clear which document will govern if there's a conflict between them. What other clauses are usually included in a shareholders agreement?
A shareholders agreement will typically include key clauses that set out ownership structure and shareholdings, decision-making processes, dispute resolution mechanisms, and the protection of shareholders' rights. It'll also include clauses that are there to protect the company, such as confidentiality obligations on shareholders and restrictions on shareholders if they exit the company. This can include things like non-compete provisions and restrictions on selling shares to outside parties. Is there anything else that a shareholder agreement typically includes, Ashley?
Yes, there can be. So some shareholders agreements will also include additional clauses, such as clauses that deal with preemption rights on issue or transfer of shares, permitted transfers of shares, valuation of shares, and tag-along and drag-along rights. These can be important to protect different minority or majority shareholders' rights.
So that's the key clauses that shareholders agreements typically include. But how can having a shareholders agreement in place be beneficial to businesses?
Well, to start with, a shareholders agreement will include clauses that ensure that the rights of all shareholders are protected. But if you're a minority shareholder, it can be particularly important to ensure that you're given all rights in respect of the company that you're expecting. For example, this could be in relation to decision-making powers and payment of dividends.
That's right, and having a written agreement between shareholders can also provide a mechanism for resolving disputes between shareholders in the future. It can ensure there's a firm process in place to try and fix problems without damaging the company or each shareholder's rights. Are there any other ways a shareholders agreement can benefit businesses?
Yes, having a shareholders agreement can be extremely attractive to future external investors, as they'll know there'll be an agreement in place to protect their interests as a shareholder after the investment is made. So if you're looking to sell your company in the future, it also shows buyers that you have proper procedures and documents in place for your company to add to its credibility.
It sounds like having a shareholders agreement can add value to your company whilst also protecting your own rights as a shareholder. But what happens if more shareholders join the company? Is a new shareholders agreement needed?
No, so a deed of adherence can be used instead. When a company already has a shareholders agreement in place, a deed of adherence ensures that new shareholders adhere to the existing shareholders agreement. It's a legal document that allows a new shareholder to become a party to an existing shareholders agreement, essentially.
I see. And this mechanism avoids having to put a brand new shareholders agreement in place each time a new shareholder joins the company. So, how can Docue help businesses with putting a shareholders agreement in place?
Docue's dynamic shareholders agreement template allows you to create a top quality document in minutes. Docue's service includes model clauses designed by lawyers to help businesses draft the agreement themselves and tailor it to their specific needs. So you end up with an agreement that's fully customized to suit your company.
Sounds great. Thanks for listening, everyone.